Hi, how are you? Really, how are you? So often people ask us, how are we? How are you specifically? Usually it's a greeting, you say it in passing, you don't really think too much about the question itself. But if you actually do take the time to think about it, how are you could be a loaded question, especially if you're somebody who's actually going through something. If you're somebody who has a lot on their plate, a lot on their mind, going through something emotional at the time. And when you hear the question, how are you? You don't usually say how you are. You say what you more than likely assume the other person wants to hear. And that's, I'm fine. I'm okay. You know. And I think we do ourselves a disservice when we just casually brush off the question. Now, I'm not saying that you should spill your guts, give your life story, shed all the, you know, or share all the dirty details of whatever it is that you're going through at the time. Depending on the person who asks, I think it can depend on what your response should be. If it's a friend or loved one asking you, how are you? I think the best response to that is, are you sure you want to know? And I think they do. I think if this is somebody who you trust, who you love, who you believe has a genuine concern about your well being, that you should let them know how you're doing. Are you great? Or could you be better? Let them know. So often we want to kind of protect everyone else around us from the negative stuff, or at least how we perceive the stuff we're going through in a negative context. Like, I don't want to tell this person that I'm not feeling too good because then they'll get concerned. And a lot of times we feel that if somebody's concerned about us, that's negatively impacting them. Don't do that. Because they like you, because they love you, because they want the best for you, that concern is just a reflection of that. Don't try to protect others from helping you, from being concerned for your well being. Let them know, you know, hey, I'm not feeling too good today. I kind of overdid it yesterday, and I'm just not feeling 100%. I mean, I feel a little tired. I got a little bit of a headache, stuff like that. I mean, it's not an end of the world type deal. It's not a catastrophe. It's not, you're gonna die tomorrow. It's nothing like that. But it's giving them some insight into how you're doing. And if nothing else, then they can just say, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there anything I can do for you? It's another loaded question. Because maybe there genuinely is something that they can do for you. Maybe you actually want someone to do something for you and you're just scared to ask. Fear. Fear hurts us so much more in our heads than it does in reality. We're scared of how people may view us. We're scared of people thinking that, oh, this person needs help. Maybe they're weak, maybe they're helpless. We don't want to be viewed as someone who needs help. We don't want to be viewed as, needing help. We don't want to have to ask others to help us, especially if we're not used to it. Now, I'm talking real specifically to people who are going through a chronic illness or going through some type of health concern, whether it's, mental, physical, emotional, there's a negative connotation to needing help. And there's a way that we view it. Because if you're not used to being someone who is very, forthright with asking of stuff from other people, it can be tough, especially if you're used to doing it on your own. And that sudden shift in now having to ask for help or even acknowledging that you sometimes need help can be very burdensome for you. Not for the people who love you and care about you, but for you. Because for so long, you're used to doing things on your own. You're used to being the anchor, the strong person that could help others and did so freely. But now that you're the one that needs help, it's harder to ask because you have no frame of reference. It's something totally alien to you. And it takes a lot of, I don't want to say character. It takes a lot of self-awareness to acknowledge that you need help, to be okay with the fact that you need help, and then to ask that you need help. Those three things right there are some of the hardest steps when you first learn that you're now a little different. When you first truly become aware that things have changed for me. I'm not that person that I was before. I'm somebody else now. And coming to terms with that new identity can sometimes be a heck of a shock. It leaves you with a lot of questions and not so many answers. But before I go down that rabbit hole, let's go back to the question itself. How are you? Take the time, whenever you can, today, preferably, to think about that. How are you? And be honest with yourself with the answer that you give to yourself first. And then the next time somebody asks you, how are you? Try to be a little courageous and tell them exactly how you are. I'll see you next time. Take it easy.